Good evening, my good tenor. We are back with another beginner's guide. If you are brand new to the game, you would have noticed this number over here. These are credits. Credits are farmed from doing missions and other various tasks in Warframe. And these credits are used for pretty much everything related to crafting, buying blueprints, and upgrading your mods. So in this guide, we're going to go over how you can make a ton of credits as an early to mid-game player depending on how far you have progressed. And as always, a huge thank you to my amazing members on this channel that support me. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into it. Firstly, when you start out, you need to do junctions to get to the next planet. Each time you complete these junctions, you will get a credit reward with it. And as you progress, you get more credits per junction. For example, from Earth to Mars, you get 15,000 credits. From Mars to Ceres, you get 20,000 credits. From Ceres to Jupiter, you get 30,000, and so on. You get the idea here. So progressing through your star chart will give you a nice credit bonus as you play, plus you will get the credits from the missions you do. Moving on to the next thing, which is the daily reset. In Warframe, you have a daily reset for your daily login rewards. This happens every day at 12 AM GMT. And every time you log into Warframe after the daily reset, your first mission grants you double credits. This bonus also stacks with credit boosters. With that being said, it is wise to be strategic on which mission to run, which leads me on to the next method of getting credits, and that is the Dark Sector mission. Dark Sector missions are these missions that have a cool little icon. These missions give you bonuses when running them, as you can see here. It has increased drop chance and extra XP. But what makes Dark Sector missions so good is the extra credit bonus you get when you complete the mission. The best Dark Sector mission to do in the beginning as a new player is Kyaii on Earth. It's an excavation mission and all you need to do is complete the first excavator and extract. Upon completion, you get about 15,000 credits from the mission, and you also have a 55% chance of getting 2,000 credits from completing the first excavator. The completion reward doesn't scale, meaning there is no reason to stay here in the mission, so you can just extract after completing the first excavator and then go back in and rinse and repeat. This should on average take you about 2 to 3 minutes per mission, which means you will get about 20,000 credits per mission. Plus you can also run Kyaii on the first mission of the day, so you can get that extra double credit bonus. This is a really good farm for the super early game players, although I will say do not get stuck in hardcore grinding this mission and burn out, because there are much better farms as you progress, so just use this as a means to get a certain blueprint or a weapon that you need. Alternatively, if you want, you can do other Dark Sector missions for the first mission of the day and stay longer to get more credits, like survival missions or defense. This will be an easy way to get 100k plus credits as a super early game player, provided you stay in long enough. As you play Warframe, you will get drops. Now, one drop that you may have come across is this one right here, and that is a Harrow Chassis blueprint. It's a super common drop that comes from corrupted enemies when doing fishes and just stacks up in your inventory just gathering dust. Well, you can actually sell the duplicates, and as you can see, it's not too bad for a passive credit farm. This applies to any blueprints you see commonly popping up, but there are not a lot, to be honest. On that same note, as you play the game, you will get tons and tons of mods, stacking up hundreds of duplicates. This is a tricky one though, so be careful with this. When you upgrade your mods, you need a lot of endo and equally a lot of credits. But when it comes to duplicate mods, you can either dissolve them for endo or you can sell them for credits. I would recommend rather dissolving duplicate mods for endo, as getting endo in the early game is a bit hard and tedious, but only sell them on the occasion that you actually really need the credits. Just remember, getting endo is more important, as you will have more means of farming credits than endo in the early game. I merely mentioned this just so that you know it's a feature. That pretty much covers everything regarding selling things. We have gone over all the early game farms, and as you progress you can do other Dark Sector missions and junctions and so on, but for now, let's put our big boy pants on and promote ourselves to the bigger league. And let's discuss one of the best credit farms in Warframe, and that will be the Index. When you unlock Neptune, you will gain access to a node called the Index. This is a unique game mode in Warframe that allows you to farm lots of credits. When you click on this node, a screen will pop up showing you 3 options. How it works is you need to put down an investment or a deposit of X amount of credits, and you will get a return when you win the game mode. Low risk requires you to invest 30,000 credits. When you win, you will get 75,000 credits profit, meaning you get 105,000 credits at the end. Medium risk is 135,000 profit. and high risk is 200,000 profit. This profit bonus is affected by credit boosters, meaning on the high risk investment you get about 450k credits per run with the credit booster. You get the idea here. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you lose, you will only get the deposit and you will not get any profits from that run. Obviously, you want to do the high risk investment to get the most amount of credits per run. Now let's actually hop in and explain how this game mode works. It's actually very simple. Once you've picked the tier of your choice and you've loaded in, you will need to gather index points and deposit them on the opposite side of the map. When you get the required amount, you win. Low risk requires 50 points, medium risk requires 75 points, and high risk requires 100 points. You get these index points by killing the enemy participants. They look like these green glowy diamonds over here. When you walk over them, you will collect them, which you will be able to see on the top left of your screen, showing how many index points you are holding. But there is a catch here. You can hold a whole bunch of these points, but there is a financial stress debuff which lowers your max health and shields as you start stacking them up, and it constantly drains your energy. However, it gives you a damage buff the more index points you have. On that note, as you pick up these index points and stack them up, you will see the amount of points held and then a bonus. How it works is you get bonus points the more index points you are holding. This is the table here which shows you everything. The sweet spot for me personally is 15, which gives you bonus 8 points, which is 23 points per cash in. But you must be careful here. In the index game mode, you are immediately put on a timer. For every point cashed in, you get 10 seconds on the timer, so don't wait too long and the timer runs out. If you cannot make 15 points or it's taking too long, then just cash in and get the timer up. You can run more than 15 points and go to 20 points to get the extra 10 bonus points if you can handle it, of course. Anything more than 20 doesn't really give you much benefit. You will have allies on your team which are random AI bots. They are a great way to distract enemies, but they like to steal your points, so just watch out for that. Now the question you're probably asking is, well, Flo, I am a noob and I don't have any good gear. Well, do not stress, my baby tenor. All you need to do is get Rhino. He's a super easy frame to farm on Venus. The reason we use him is because we will be making use of his iron skin. It is a perfect ability to keep us alive when you're holding 15 plus index points and have 10 HP. Now we're going to be using a simple build like this. You're going to focus on efficiency, as when you start stacking up your index points, the drain will be insane. So as you pick up an energy orb, the drain will just drop your energy fast, so this will give you some time to quickly just recast iron skin as you walk over an energy orb. We focus on armor and strength here to stack up iron skin as much as we can, so stack up as much strength as possible. If you don't have Augur Secrets, then use what you have available. We run steel charge because we will be using a melee for the setup. If you want a more advanced build, I just ran this simple setup so we can be able to cast raw with him as well as iron skin super easily. Now the enemies in the index are corpus enemies, and corpus enemies are weak to toxin because toxin ignores shields and goes straight for the health bar. As index is in Neptune, you should by right be around MR5 to MR8. I'm giving a range here because you need to get to MR7 as fast as possible. At MR7, you can get the Serrata in your clan dojo in the biolab. This is the best weapon for index, as it is a glaive with an AoE damage that force procs toxin against enemies. This weapon shreds index. To use the glaive, you will have to hold down your melee button, which is E on PC, and then use the alternate fire to detonate it near the enemy, dealing a huge amount of damage in an AoE. It's best to aim it above their heads and time the detonation. Once you have obtained this weapon, make a simple build like this. Glaive stance mods are tedious to farm, so you may have to buy it with platinum from another player, but the most important mods you need are Pressure Point, Killing Blow, Organ Shatter, and True Steel. When you start investing into this weapon, you can add Gladiator Might and Fever Strike to stack more toxin. Then you can move on to a build like this. When you are able to farm Amalgam Organ Shatter through the Thermia Fracture event, then replace normal Organ Shatter with this mod. It will make it so much better. And that is the entire setup that you need, Rhino and the Serrata. Yes, there are many other variations, but this is the easy low budget option you could use. What makes Rhino also good with the Serrata is his raw ability will increase the Serrata's damage considerably. It is also worth noting that you can use a Bane of Corpus to increase your damage further. On the sides of the map tiles, you will see these energy orbs, so be sure to memorize their locations so you know exactly where to go if your iron skin gets low or if you need to cast raw. Always remember to check your iron skin health so you don't just die when you're holding a whole bunch of index points. A pro tip to speed up your index runs is use enemy radar on your frames. Even though we now have an inbuilt +30 enemy radar, it's nice to see exactly where the enemies are on the map so that you can speed up your missions. With this setup, the high risk mission will be super easy to do even solo, and you will be able to do multiple runs instead of just running one and extracting each time, and then going back in. I was able to casually complete a high risk investment in 5 minutes. You can do it even faster. You can do it in a group, but I like to show you the tools and teach you the mechanics so that you can do it yourself. However, it's worth noting that in a group scenario, it's best if you have one person stacking up the points to take advantage of the bonus points mechanic instead of everyone just grabbing a few points and cashing in. As you play these missions, you will learn the tile sets off by heart. Be sure to do this game mode when you have a credit booster. Another thing I want to mention is be very careful with this game mode as it can get boring and repetitive, so make sure to balance out your farms. The index can make you millions of credits per hour if you farm it efficiently. However, it's worth noting that the index is not affected by the daily login double credit boost. I will be making an in-depth guide on the index in future, so just look out for that. Moving on to the next thing, which is sorties. Sorties are unlocked after completing the War Within questline. When you get sorties, they are daily missions you can complete and reset at 1700 UTC or 5 PM UTC. When you complete a sortie, you get 100k credits, and this of course is affected by the daily login and credit boosters. They are a very good way to get easy credits and extra rewards as a mid-game player, but index is obviously still better. And then lastly, we have Railjack. Railjack is another super chilled option for farming credits, but personally, early game Railjack is tedious. You're better off doing index. But you do get a huge completion bonus when you do Railjack missions like defense and survival, up to 100k credit bonuses. And that is pretty much all the main credit farms to do as a beginner in Warframe. Index will net you millions of credits in the early game. If you want my advice, I would not focus too much on early credit farms until you get to the index. Index is one of the most important farms to have as a beginner, and I would definitely suggest getting a Rhino and Serrata if you haven't got the index already, so that you can prepare for it and be ready once you've unlocked it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment and let me know if there are any specific farms you want me to cover for a beginner player, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next episode.